What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Check Down Podcast, streaming to you on the GETRIGHT Fantasy Network. If you have not subscribed, make sure you hit that subscribe button and make sure you follow us on Instagram and Twitter. We're going to hopefully be more active on that going forward. I am your host, Shirtless Pat. I'm running around here half naked every week. And you know what? I don't have a fangirl. But you know who does have a fangirl? Cody McGoats. People out here asking Cody on our live stream on Monday if he was single or not. So he went out there, he got all dolled up for everybody today, and look at his best. Greg?
I wore my best shirt today.
Me and you were sitting here without fangirls. Cody's got one. Hopefully she tunes in and we can get this going. So what's up to everybody watching? Buki's the first one to comment. What's up, Buki? Thanks for tuning in, my man. We got some Titan material going on today, so that should be exciting for you. So we're going to go ahead and just jump right into it. We're going to break the huddle here. We're going to get moving in the first down. So anyone listening at home, if you have any controversial topics you wanted to talk about, put them in the comments and we're going to talk about it. The first thing that we're going to bring up today was the Saturday hiring as the Colts head coach. Every media out there said that was a terrible move. Bill Cowher was in tears. Joe Thomas said it was a disgrace. I think it was someone on Good Morning Football said it was an embarrassment. McCourty said that they weren't able to play. So there's a lot of negativity. Cody, how did you feel about that hiring?
I mean, was it a surprising hire, and did I expect it? No, but do I think it was a bad hire? Not at all. I mean, the guy was a center, basically the captain of one of the best offensive lines on one of the best teams for 10-plus years. Dude's an all-pro, so he knows what he's doing. He played with one of the best quarterbacks to ever play, so he's got that leadership. He obviously knows football, and, hey, he's 1-0.
And he beat the team that he said was looking terrible. So you can't say that, become a head coach. He at least got that win. Greg, how did you feel about Saturday hiring?
When I found out, I cried myself to sleep that night. I was just completely devastated by this. This is absolutely ridiculous. How do you think most of these coaches get their jobs anyway? It's because they play in the NFL. This guy played in the NFL. He was a highly regarded name on the Colts. Imagine if the Colts had an opportunity to have Peyton Manning be their head coach. Do you think they'd jump on that opportunity? You think fans would like it? I think so. You could ask the majority of the fan base for the Indianapolis Colts, and they would definitely, I'd say like 75 to 80% would be on board with this. Remember, it's just an interim position. He may go nowhere with it, but you're giving him a chance. If he does good, hell, that's awesome. Everyone's just overreacting.
Buki said it wasn't a bad hire, but could have gotten a better coach with experience. So here's how I'm looking at this situation. When you have a company or a big corporation that's going under, they're not performing well. They don't bring up lower management. So they're not hiring the assistant CEOs. They're getting rid of the entire executive team, and they're bringing on a whole new executive team. That's what works. That's what's successful in big companies. So just because somebody's been there on that team all season long, obviously they're not getting it right because the team wasn't fucking winning. So they brought in an outside source, just like a big company does, different views, different opinions, brought Matt Ryan back to the quarterback, and they won their game. So to Jason McCourty, to Joe Thomas, and to Bill Cowher, who was so fucking upset. You can come talk to me. I'll tell you how to run a business because it's clearly not what you think. And I think the move was fantastic. Bringing a different set of eyes, bringing someone that's got respect for years of playing. And look, they won a game.
Yeah, and I mean,
they weren't trying to tank. I think it was a fantastic move. I loved it.
And just the Buki's comment there, his previous one, they could have brought in a better coach with experience. But look, every better coach with experience at one point was a coach with no experience. And that's what Jeff Saturday is. And who knows? Maybe he'll turn into an exceptional coach. Like I said, 1-0, off to a great start. Jonathan Taylor's back, so I'm happy about that. Making my trade form of fantasy look finally pay off.
Are you sure? Because Tyreek Hill's still killing it. So in case people don't know, Cody traded away Tyreek Hill for Jonathan Taylor, and
I'm sure they all know by this point.
Then you have
he outscored him this week, so
that's fair.
One down.
Hopefully every week going forward.
Mookie said, "Go ahead and bring Tony Dungy back." I mean, if Tony Dungy wanted to coach, I wonder if Irsay would have brought him back. To be honest, I would say maybe. It's a tough call, but I would have done it. I'm all about it. Bring everybody back. Okay, so people watching at home, who is your MVP candidate front runner for the year? Go ahead and put that in the comments, and we're going to see what we think. Go ahead, Greg. You can go first.
Damn, I was really hoping Izzy would be here so I could, really get into it with him. But you know what? It's not the end of the world. At this point, it's Patrick Mahomes. First thing I'd like to start off with is the strength of schedule. They came into the season. The Chiefs had the most difficult schedule on paper. Dolphins were at 19. At this point in the season, Dolphins are now at 15, so their schedule has gotten easier. But the Chiefs have went from 32 to 31, so virtually no change. The Chiefs still have the toughest schedule. Next is the Chiefs lost Tyreek Hill, who is one of the best receivers in football. Everyone was saying, "Oh, Mahomes is toast. He doesn't have the weapon now. Chiefs are going to finish last in the division." Yada yada yada. Mahomes hasn't skipped a beat. The Chiefs' offense is still pretty much unstoppable right now. And last, if you look at previous years, I know MVP is this year, but look at previous years. Tua, 2 years ago, small sample size, not good. Last year, a little bit bigger sample size, still not good. So what do the Dolphins do? They go out, they get one of the best receivers in football, and they go out and get one of the most offensive-minded coaches with Mike McDaniel and make him their head coach. And look at, they're clicking on all cylinders now. So I think they're all complementing each other. Tua's having a great year. He's leading the league in QBR. He's 7-0. He looks good, but he hasn't played anyone that tough. The 2 games he did miss were against the Vikings and the Bengals, and then they got shellacked by the Jets, but that was a third-string quarterback. Mahomes is the MVP right now. I think Tua is probably runner-up, but flat out, based off everything, Mahomes. It's his.
Okay. Cody, who you got? Before we move on, Buki agrees with you, Greg. He says Patty Mahomes is leading that race right now. So, okay.
So I feel like you guys already know. Well, Greg at least knows who I've got because he's name dropping. He's name dropping my pick, and I also wish Izzy was here because I know he'd back me up. My MVP is Tua Tagovailoa, and let me explain. I didn't bring up schedules, probably should have, but I'm looking at Patrick Mahomes' schedule, and yeah, you say it's one of the toughest, but I see Arizona. They're not a good team. I see the Chargers, who haven't been a good team this year. Indianapolis, Tampa Bay, Las Vegas. I mean, I'll give you Buffalo and San Francisco, but the rest of the teams they played aren't that good. But going into Tua himself, I mean, like you said, leads the league in QBR, leads the league in quarterback percentage. He is 11th in passing yards, but he missed 2.5 games. If you take his per game average of yards and add those in, he's second in yards. Only 3 picks. Let me see. Leads in touchdown percentage, has the lowest interception percentage, has taken the least sacks. I mean, he was out 2 games, so I won't even take that one. Highest completion percentage, highest yards per attempt. So, I mean, he's leading the league in all these things except touchdowns, which Mahomes has. But if he plays those 2.5 games, I mean, he's right up there with them.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
like you said, do you think receivers and running backs should have a better chance at MVP? Tyreek Hill could be up there. So I do think running backs and wide receivers should have a better opportunity because this is definitely a quarterback award. First things first, Derrick Henry should have won it 2 years ago with 2,000 yards. It should not have been Aaron Rodgers. Last year, it should have been Cooper Kupp. It should not have been Aaron Rodgers. I'm an Aaron Rodgers hater, so I'm going to put that out there. It should not have been Aaron Rodgers. Tyreek Hill could be the front runner, but his problem is he only has 4 touchdown receptions on the year. Yeah, he's got almost 1,200 yards, but he's only got 4 touchdowns, which is eclipsed by Travis Kelce, who's got 8. Devontae Adams has got 8. Cooper Kupp has 6, but he's injured. So Stephon Diggs and Christian Kirk both have 7. So, yeah, Tyreek could be up there because of his yards, but he's not scoring, and that's kind of a big factor. For me, who I'm going to put towards the top of my list because I really think things are turning around, I'm going to put Tom Brady there. Why? Aaron Rodgers won the MVP 2 years in a row with lesser stats than Tom Brady, but he was efficient. He didn't turn the ball over. Well, guess what? Tom Brady has 2 interceptions this year. He's incredibly efficient. He's second in passing yards. And if that continues and he throws for almost 5,600 yards or over 5,000 yards by the end of the season, the way this is going, he has Aaron Rodgers' stats. They love him. You know, the NFL loves picking people that they've already picked before. So I'm going with Tom Brady as my front runner right now because I think things are turning around, and he's got the efficiency that they're looking for.
Well, Pat, if you want to talk efficiency, hold on there 1 second, because Tua Tagovailoa actually leads the league right now in efficiency. Whereas it just had it here. Incidentally, leads the NFL in efficiency rating at 115.9 and also leads in Football Outsiders defensive adjusted value over average metric at 50.5. So if we bring in the efficiency statement, Tua is also leading that too.
What's going to hold him back is he missed 2 games. You can't do that in the NFL. They're going to hold that against him the whole way. He's not going to win. And he's left-handed. NFL hates left-handed.
But he missed 2 games, but all of his stats are leading. He's third. What is he? Third and fourth in touchdowns.
He has 2 less games to make mistakes. That's
but if
what's going to hang over his head.
He also has 2 less games to throw touchdowns and yards, where if you add those yards in and those touchdowns, he's first or second in every category.
He threw 3 interceptions each of those games. That's what's going to hang over his head. He missed games. That's the problem.
I think you could make.
You could have thrown 3 touchdowns in each of those games.
But he didn't. He could.
But he also didn't throw the interceptions. He did it.
He's been washed. It doesn't matter.
Okay, the good and bad don't count. But if you're looking at it, take Patrick Mahomes, take his averages those games, subtract 3 or 2.5, and 2 is right there with him in stats, if not ahead of him. But he didn't play.
I think there's a bigger case for McDaniels winning like Coach of the Year. I think he's the reason, in my opinion, him, Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Mostert, like I think they're the reason Tua is having all the success. You look at the past 2 years, Tua like did jack shit. Then again, he was like injured part of it. Fitzpatrick was in the mix. Like he's taking the next step this year. But I think it's significantly McDaniels like help McDaniel. Yeah, it's Mike McDaniels, right?
Yeah,
Mike McDaniels.
Okay, I just wanted to clarify the name. I didn't screw that up. But I think he is pretty much the sole reason, like him and Tyreek Hill, the reason Tua is having such great success, because Tua's not going above and beyond, really. He's just making very efficient, like you talked about efficiency, Cody. Like he is very efficient with what he needs to do. And I think he's a great product of a great system, and he's having an awesome year. And I think
if Tua's not going above and beyond, then neither is Patrick Mahomes, because like I just said, average wise, quarterback rating, he blows Mahomes out of the water. So Mahomes isn't going above and beyond either.
You've been hanging out with Izzy and talking to him on the phone.
I need Izzy here because he would totally agree with me.
You could literally put Kirk Cousins, Jimmy G, and Tua's shoes right now, and they would have very similar stats. All you have to do is look at.
We don't know that. We don't know that.
When Jimmy
G was in his.
I know that's what I'm saying.
And guess what? The Niners drafted a quarterback to replace him.
And
I don't know why
Niners went to the Super Bowl and 3 NFC Championship games.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like Jimmy G was not a great quarterback. He's not a great quarterback, but he fits so well into McDaniel's system, and he was so efficient. Like they all helped each other.
And so does Tua, and Tua's stats are way better than Jimmy G's ever were. I don't see Miami recruiting quarterbacks this year.
I mean, Tua could be slightly better than like Jimmy G.
Yeah, you know who went to Super Bowl 2? Jared Goff, and he got traded 2 years later.
Yeah, but I mean, Jimmy G's stats were better than Jared Goff's, I think. Jared Goff he had good numbers that year, Jared Goff.
I'm just saying, like Jimmy G had success and everything. It goes, like, obviously team success goes further than just the quarterback. I'm with you there. But Tua's stats are better than Jimmy G's ever were. They're better than Goff's ever were. And they're better than Patrick Mahomes is right now. If Tua played, we don't know. Maybe he throws 3 picks those games. But if you take his averages, he's right there.
11th in passing yards, 11th. And you can't say
he's 11th.
He doesn't have those 2 games. He's 11th.
Okay, I'm saying you take his averages, put him in those 2 games, he's second in the league.
It doesn't work that way.
I understand. I'm just saying, but to be 11th after missing 2 games, that's a whole 600 yards he's missing out on. You give him those, round up to 600 yards, he's second in the league in passing yards. You take Patrick Mahomes out of two games, he's probably 11th in the league.
I'll say this. He is 4th in passing touchdowns, which is kind of impressive because Tyreek Hill only has 4 receiving touchdowns on the year. So the ball is getting spread around. But, all right, we'll agree to disagree.
I need his.
I think
year.
Tua's great this year. I think he's doing great. I think he's second in voting, like for MVP. Like there's no hate against Tua whatsoever. Like I was wrong on him completely. I thought he was going to suck ass this year, but he's definitely benefiting from having one of the best receivers in football now, as well as a great offensive-minded coach and just like a good offensive line, just overall, solid offense.
So
Yeah.
But he's having a good year.
I said last year.
Yeah,
when we first
because
started this,
Patrick
we weren't
Mahomes has a
even
terrible
on camera
coach.
yet. You guys are about to get muted. Have that power now. I said last
So do
year
I.
before we were even on camera that this was for the Cardinals. That the reason they were so hot was because teams can run on skill and talent before defenses can figure them out. With the 2 less games, that's just kind of extended into this part of the season for Tua. Tua and that team is going to be figured out, and we're going to see what he's made of these last few weeks. So if he continues to ball out, there, but they're no longer going to be able to rely on their speed and their talent at the positions. They're going to have to scheme better. So we'll see how good he is, because now there's enough tape on film to really figure out this offense. However, Jeff Wilson's a game changer.
A lot of speed.
Really added something there. He had like 120 yards last week. He really went off. So, all right, we're going to move into holds and folds, get some bold statements out here and see what you guys think. I'm going to go with Cody for this one. Cody, Josh Allen cannot be trusted to win a close game. Hold or fold?
Oh, I mean, that's a good one. I mean, point you brought up previously in the year, they don't win close games. And I mean, even if you look all year this year, Buffalo hasn't then been that great of a second half team. Yeah, I don't know. It's a good one. I don't want to necessarily say fold, but I also just don't want to hold it either. Yeah. I don't know which one I would go with, but I would. I don't feel. Oh God. I'll fold it. That would be like. Would fold in this scenario be that I don't trust him?
If you fold, it means you can trust him. You
I'm
think
gonna hold
he can
it
win
then.
a close game.
I'm gonna hold it then. I don't think he can.
I don't think he can either. I'm going to talk about him in a minute. Greg, your bold statement, and I'm going to try to see if I can share my screen here so we can go over it together. It'll work. Dan Hands is the power rankings guru, okay? That's like his only job, which is kind of awesome. He has like a podcast for it as well. Your bold statement, any team in the top 17 of Dan Hands' power rankings can win the Super Bowl this year. Ready? So we're going to go over them. We have the Eagles at 1, Chiefs at 2, Minnesota at 3. We got Dolphins, Bills, Ravens, Niners, Cowboys, Titans, Jets, Bengals.
You said top 17?
Hold on, I'm getting there. Yeah. Buccaneers, Giants, Seahawks, Patriots, Packers at 16. That's pretty low. And then the Washington Commanders at 17, who just beat the 8-0 Eagles. So any of those top 17 teams, if they make the playoffs, they have a chance to make a run.
No, to win the Super Bowl, no. Jets aren't going to fucking make it to the Super Bowl. Giants aren't going to make the Super Bowl. Seahawks aren't going to make it to the Super Bowl. Commanders aren't going to make – like, those are all, like, solid teams right now. But to make it to the Super Bowl and potentially win it, no. Like, could they win a playoff game? Maybe 2 playoff games? Hell yeah. But to actually, like, go out and win a Super Bowl? No. Like, they're going to – the bad teams are going to get threaded out once they make it to the AFC and NFC championship games.
What is this a ranking of?
Any team in the top 17 right now, Dan Hands' ranking, could make the Super Bowl or win the Super Bowl. Right now, we have there's a lot of controversy in these top 17 because a lot of these teams are all very even keel, and all the best teams have already proven they can lose to these teams. So when you make it into the playoffs, a good running game, a good defense, and a good coach can pull you. So a good running game and a good defense would be the Commanders. You know, a good coach and a good squad like the Packers, if they make it, could make a run. You got the Patriots who got Belichick. So there's a lot of teams down here at the bottom that if they sneak in, they've already proven they can beat an elite team.
Regular season usually means like nothing, though. A lot of these teams, when they rematch or, play tougher quality opponents in the playoffs, like that's when they, crumble. And, you have these top teams that usually hold a lot back in the regular season. Like once they get closer to the postseason and like once they're in it, like they, break out new things. Chiefs, Andy Reid, prime example. They break out a lot of stuff that they don't usually address in the regular season. But yeah, there were like 5 teams on that list that I would not even consider as like to a championship game even.
Okay. So you're folding.
Yeah, definitely fold that.
All right. We're going to move on in the second down for people at home. This is where we talk winners, losers of the week. So go ahead and put in the comments who your winners and your losers are, and maybe we can touch on it. We're going to go ahead and start with Cody. Who was your big winner?
My big winner is my guy over in Green Bay, Christian Watson. All year has been struggling with injuries, struggling with drops, can't stay on the field. Had a good breakout game, 3 touchdowns. Did struggle with some drops early, so I'm not getting ahead of myself with this guy. I know I texted you guys in the group, but that was just kind of the emotions getting over me. I'm not, like I said, I'm not going crazy quite yet, but he looked good. And I think a game like this is exactly what he needed, get his confidence up. Hopefully play at a little bit of more high level going forward.
Okay. Christian Watson. Greg, who was your big winner?
My big winner was Taylor Heineke. Like he looked pretty good in that Eagles game. Like he didn't, go crazy, but he did enough to get the job done. He looked like a solid quarterback that the Commanders need. He wasn't doing stupid shit that Wentz has done all season. So it looks like Taylor Heineke is now locked in at that quarterback position. He should be there the rest of the year. They're looking like they were in the power rankings, like you just showed. They're looking like they could make the playoffs and maybe sneak out a win. But yeah, he got his job back. He looked pretty good. Yeah, it's nice to see. Also, Kadarius Toney, he looked really good with the Chiefs. He had a few touches, just looked electric. As soon as the ball got in his hands, it's like, holy shit! Like we just found our Tyreek Hill replacement. Awesome. Hopefully, he can stay healthy.
Greg, you have to find a way to get the Chiefs into every segment. Like you just find a way to bring them into every segment.
That's why I got the banner up there.
Chiefs here. Gotta put them in. So I'm going to go with another quarterback, but neither of us went with Kirk Thuggins this week, which is kind of surprising because they beat the Bills. I'm going with Colt McCoy for the Cardinals. I don't know if you guys watched that game, but at one point, there was literally third-string quarterback versus third-string quarterback. Colt McCoy got hurt. Wolford was out. So it was Perkins versus
Trace McSorley.
Yeah. It was third-string quarterback. The game was like very non-entertaining, but I watched the game, and the one thing I can say about Colt McCoy, there was no drama. Like the last few weeks, Kyler Murray has caused problems. He was yelling at Cliff Kingsbury. Him and DeAndre Hopkins were getting at it on the sidelines. You know who wasn't getting in it with anybody? Colt McCoy. You know what they did? They won. Kyler Murray hasn't won a game since COD came out. I'm thinking Colt McCoy played well enough that he should get a start again this week. He looked good. He was efficient. He had like a 90-plus QBR. He threw for 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. I say keep him out there, even though I have Kyler Murray on one of my fantasy teams.
It's like the Cooper Rush, Dak Prescott. You gave Kyler Murray all this money. I mean, Cooper Rush is playing really good.
At the end of the day, you have to win games. And yeah, you maybe made a bad business move, but if you can win a football game, you should win the football game. I don't think they're going to start Colt McCoy, but I think he has earned the right to play again. So piggybacking off of what I said earlier about Kirk Cousins, my loser is Josh Allen. I said this probably 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks ago when we first started shooting this virtually. I said that the Bills cannot win close games. All of their wins over the last 2 years have been by double digits, and they cannot win close games. And then they shut me out because they beat the Chiefs by 4 points, and they beat the Ravens by 3. And I was like, oh, they've come out of it. Josh Allen threw 4 interceptions, and he fumbled the ball on the 1-yard line. You can't trust this man. He's going to lose the game. The Bills aren't going anywhere as long as he's their quarterback. He's a great talent and great athlete. I would not want him taking my team anywhere because he's not going to win the big game. Greg.
Ooh, I love hearing all that negative talk about Josh Allen just because all I had to listen to last year was, oh my God, Allen is better than Mahomes. He's, going to have a better career. He's better than, yeah, there you go.
He found a way to get him in there again, even with his negative.
That's going to be my goal now, is just to get it into every single segment. No matter, I got to just figure out how to sneak it in. biggest loser is the fucking New Orleans Saints. Not only did they go on the losing road and get their asses kicked by Pittsburgh, they gave their first round pick to the Philadelphia Eagles. So the Eagles now have the 4th overall pick in next year's draft. And the Saints aren't looking like they're going to be winning many more games. So Eagles most likely are going to make the playoffs, probably win at least one game in the playoffs, make it to the NFC Championship game, maybe even a Super Bowl, and they're going to have a top 5 pick in that next year's draft. That's absolutely insane. So the Saints, they're a fucking disaster right now. They're in salary cap hell. They can't figure out which quarterback they want to play. They have Dalton playing. You might as well put in Taysom Hill, bring back Winston and something. But, oh, my God, I would hate to be a Saints fan right now. Disaster.
It's bad. It really is bad down there in New Orleans. I don't know if you guys have ever been to New Orleans and you've walked that main strip down there, whatever it is, Bourbon Street. But that entire strip smells like piss, and it's dirty and it's filthy. And that's exactly what the organization is right now. It's just piss.
So bad.
All right, Cody, who was your bust this week?
Yeah, I mean, just talk about Philly real quick. I told you they weren't going to go undefeated, guys. But anyway, my loser is the Rams. Not only because the team looks like a heaping pile of garbage right now, but because they lost their really only bright spot on offense this week, and he just got put on IR and will be out 4 to 6 months, and he'll be sitting on my fantasy IR as well. So not happy about it. But yeah, Rams, just because the team just looks like they don't have an identity. They're playing like crap and just lost their best offensive player.
Okay. All right, guys, we're going to move into third down. Third down is where we do fantasy. So anybody watching at home, put in your fantasy questions in here. Cody, do you want to go ahead and start us off with a daily fantasy?
Oh, man, I mean, sure. This was a tough one to put together. I didn't really know what I liked. So again, if you lose money, don't blame me. MVP, as far as that's what FanDuel calls. I know DraftKings calls it something else. I'm going Derrick Henry. I mean, I don't really know who else you're going to put there. He's gonna get the touches, and this Green Bay rush defense is not good. So he could easily get 100 yards, probably touchdown, even 2. And then the rest of my flexes actually went all Green Bay, only because, like I said before the show, Tennessee's defense is going to be playing their practice squad. A lot of injuries on that side. First one, I have Christian Watson. Hopefully he can just ride the momentum from last game. And then I have also Alan Lazard. Between Watson and Lazard, they're going to be the guys catching passes, possibly even each score a touchdown, which would be great. Third, flex, Aaron Jones. They seem to be using him more and more each week now. A.J. Dillon not getting it worked in as much. I don't know what the issue is going on there with A.J. Dillon. And then my fourth, just because I spent a lot in my first 4 guys, I'm taking Robert Tonyan at $7,000. I think that's a good value pick there. Because I think Watson, Lazard, Jones, Tonyan, I think at least 2, even 3 of these guys could all score a touchdown, if not all 4. So that's what I'm rolling with, and we'll see what happens.
So I also created a daily fantasy lineup, and I went history. The last time Tennessee played in Lambeau, Packers won 40-14. The time before that, the Packers won 55-7. The Titans do not play in Lambeau well, and they have a tendency to get torched. So my MVP is going to be Aaron Rodgers. And then after that, just stacking with at least one receiver. I'm picking Alan Lazard. Alan Lazard has a tendency to catch touchdowns, so I think he's going to be able to catch a couple touchdowns. And then I also went Robert Tonyan as you did, because I think it's a good value pick. On the Titan side, Derrick Henry, because I think the Packers' rush defense is like 26th in the league, so he's going to run. But I think they're going to focus a lot of their attention shutting him down. I went Treylon Burks because they kind of eased him back in last week, and I think he's going to see a lot more snaps. He's going to outsnap NWY and Robert Woods. And then my last pick, so there's 2 tight ends in the NFL this year that have receptions over 40 yards. One is DJ Hawkinson, and number 2 is Chigakonkwo. The last 2 weeks, Chigakonkwo has 1 reception each game for 40-plus yards. They're going to find a way to get this man the ball. He's just too much of a talent. He's breaking tackles. He's all over the field. So I'm picking Chig because he's only $2,600 on DraftKings. I'm looking for a big play from him. And we could talk about the score when we get there. Buki says, watch your tone, Pat. And I know you're a diehard Titans fan. You've been your whole life. And Buki's probably the most optimistic Titan fan I've ever met. Like, most of us have an attitude like me. Like, we're not a good football team. We're kind of shitty, and it's been like that our whole lives. Buki always thinks that, like, we are the team to beat. So, Boogie, I love your optimism, and I know that you're going to not side with me, especially when we get to our picks, rapid pick'ems, but I'm sorry. The Titans it's going to be Packers all the way. So it breaks my heart to say it, but I'm really feeling it. All right. Something we're going to do different this week, everybody, is we're going to do, if I can share my screen again, we're going to do high and lows on FanDuel. So if you guys don't have FanDuel, this is free. You can sign up and you can win money. What you do is you pick the highest person in one of these categories, and then you pick the lowest. So, Greg, you're going to take the highest, and we're going to go ahead and update these as we go. So, Greg, who do you think is going to score the most points this week?
Oh, give me the Baltimore Ravens. They're going up against the Carolina Panthers. Panthers suck. Ravens are coming off a bye. They'll probably have Mark Andrews healthy and a couple of other guys as well. Expect them to drop at least 30 to 35 points at a minimum against the Panthers.
All right. Buki says, if they had Devontae Adams, I'd say we may lose. Last time they had Devontae Adams, he had 11 catches for 150 yards and like 3 touchdowns. A.J. Dillon had 5 yards per carry. Aaron Jones had 9 yards per carry. They do not play well in Lambeau, man. I'm hoping, and they're not good on prime time. I might have to live stream myself during that game just so you guys can see my emotions, because it's going to be wild. Cody, who's your lowest scoring points of the week?
Oh, boy. Let's see. A couple of teams I'm up in the air about. I'm going to have to go. I'm just going to take the Denver Broncos. They've been averaging a league low 14.6 points. Lost Jerry Jeudy. That team just doesn't look good. I'll take the Denver Broncos. Some other honorable mentions I want to throw in, probably the Pittsburgh Steelers going up against the Bengals. You might even want to say maybe the Saints against the Rams. But I'll roll with the Broncos.
All right. Boogie says he agrees with the primetime thing. It's heartbreaking. I think the one year we played the Jaguars won 1 or 2 games, and they beat us by like 30 points in primetime. It's hard to watch the Titans in primetime. They're like, everyone on that team is like Kirk Cousins in primetime. It's awful. Greg, who's going to have the most passing yards this week?
Give me the Dallas Cowboys. They're going to be going up against the Minnesota Vikings. They're in a dome, beneficial. The Vikings defense got torched by Josh Allen. The Vikings offense will score enough points where it's going to put pressure on the Cowboys. I like Dak Prescott to throw for, I'm going to say like 325 yards this week, maybe 350.
I like it because the rush defense for the Vikings is pretty good. So I think they're going to have to become more of a passing team this week as well. Greg or Cody, who's your lowest?
My lowest, I'm gonna go with Chicago. They are playing Atlanta, which is a pretty favorable matchup. But Justin Fields has only gone over 200 yards once all year. They just not a team that's going to throw for a lot of yards, but they're going to rush for a lot of yards. I'll take Chicago.
I think Chicago or the Falcons, either one of those teams you could put there, just because both teams really like to run the football, and it's going to be a short game.
Yeah, my honorable mention in that one would be Houston, if you did not want to pick what I'm picking.
All right, Greg, highest rushing yards.
Well, speaking of lowest passing yards, we're going to go highest rushing yards with the Chicago Bears because Falcons' run defense kind of sucks. Justin Fields has been rushing the ball a lot. I think he's averaged over 100 yards, like rushing in his past 2 games, which is like ridiculous. They still have David Montgomery. Falcons just aren't very good. So the game's going to be relatively close. Bears will maintain a, 1-score lead probably throughout the game and just be able to run the ball efficiently.
I like it. Yeah, I think Fields has over 120 yards the last 2 games. Khalil Herbert and David Montgomery. Well, Khalil Herbert's hurt now, but they've both been touching the rock a lot, so that's a good pick. Lowest rushing yards.
Yeah, lowest one. I'm not even going to think that much about it. It's going to be the Rams. Their run game has just looked awful. And even if Stafford's out again, the Saints are just going to stuff the box. No Cooper Kupp. The Saints run defense, pretty good. But the Rams are averaging a league like abysmal 68 rushing yards a game, and that was with Stafford for the first 8, and now we don't know who he's even going to be their quarterback. Like I said, no Kupp. I just don't imagine they get much going on the ground this week.
Another bold statement that I just thought of, hold or fold, guys. Allen Robinson is about to become fantasy relevant.
Fold
I
it.
think so. I think it's going to happen because you got to throw the ball to someone. Cooper Kupp's out. I mean, they have that one small white guy. I don't even remember his name. Van Jefferson's in the mix.
Warnick.
Yeah. Yeah, Robinson's about to get some targets finally.
Van
I mean, he'll see an
Jefferson-
uptick. He'll see an uptick in production, but I don't think by any means am I like, if he's on your waivers, am I rushing to go get him? Because I mean, yeah, a lot of targets will be vacated, but the dude still can't get separation. So if you're not open, you're not going to get catches.
Not going to get the ball. All right. That's just interesting to think because now Van Jefferson, he's kind of back and it looks like he's getting a little bit better after last week. So I don't know. It's going to be between him or Allen Robinson because Skyroneck really can't get free. Greg, what is your highest sack total? Which team's going to get the most sacks? Oh, and before you pick, the Tennessee Titans, which I don't know if they're on here, they are not because it's not Thursday night game. The Tennessee Titans, I will say that they have one thing going for them, that's their pass rush. They have 220 hurries on the season. The next closest is like under 200. So they have a real good pass rush. That is the one thing that they're going to have an opportunity to do against the Packers this week. Okay, go ahead.
But I can't pick them. Come on. What the hell? All that insight for nothing. Let's see here. I was actually looking at this. There were like 3 teams I was kind of stuck in between. But you know what? I'm going to go with the Washington Commanders. They get Chase Young back this week. They already have a very solid defensive front with Payne. They're playing the fucking Texans, who are terrible. They're going to really get after the quarterback. A couple honorable mentions were the Niners, Bosa going up against the Cardinals. Murray always like panics in the pocket. And then another one was the Patriots against the Jets. Bill Belichick knows how to get after the quarterback. Jets weren't very good at all last time they played the Patriots. So those were a couple other ones I was thinking about.
All right. Yeah, I think the Commanders are good. Their front four is fantastic. It might be some of the best front four in the league. When they're all playing, they're all clicking well. They really can dominate. So that's a good pick. Cody, go ahead with your lowest sack total.
Yeah, least amount. I'm kind of torn between 2. I don't know if I should go Las Vegas or if I should go Atlanta. Both these teams rank last in the league in sacks per game. Denver's offensive line is pretty good. And over the past couple of weeks, Wilson hasn't been taking as many sacks. And also on the flip side, Chicago's offense, since Justin Fields has been rushing more, he hasn't been getting as sacked as much. But I mean, to make a pick, let's go. Let's take Las Vegas just because I already took Chicago in another pick.
You're going to take Vegas?
I'll take Vegas.
So that's an interesting pick. After watching the Titans play the Broncos last week, that Broncos offensive line is god-awful. The Titans were without Big Jeff. They're without Bud Dupree, without Harold Landry, and they got 6 sacks. So I think that if the Raiders are ever going to play good defense, it's going to be this week. I would have been leaning towards the Lions against the Giants because I think the Giants are going to run the ball pretty efficiently. And Danny Downs is pretty good at escaping the pocket so far this year. So I would have went with the Lions. But if the Raiders, because they've been atrocious with the pass rush, if they cannot get after the quarterback, that's a good play. So we're going to go ahead and complete the scorecard and see if we can win any money. Stop sharing our screen here. We're going to go right into 4th down. Everybody at home, 4th down is where we talk about odds and ends shit, anything that you want us to talk about. So go ahead and bring – oh, I forgot sports bets. Greg, do you have any good sports bets that you like for 3rd down?
Yeah. Hey, it's a Chiefs one. Hammer the Chargers.
What a surprise.
He didn't pick them for passing yards. He didn't pick them for
I should have worked them
points.
in,
He didn't pick them for anything. So we'll go ahead and let him have this one here.
Yeah, hammer the Chargers. Right. The line started at 7 points. It's now down to 5.5. This game is in LA. The Chargers always play the Chiefs very tight. It's usually a 1-score game. I think in the last one, the Chiefs got like a backdoor cover, and that's the only reason why they ended up covering. Chargers have Mike Williams and Keenan Allen both practicing this week. If both of them play, that's going to be a nightmare for the Chiefs and their young secondary. Mike Williams always drops 100-plus yards and at least a touchdown against the Chiefs. Their Chargers have a really good pass rush, which always gives Mahomes a lot of difficulty. Chiefs haven't been running the ball too well lately. Well, or in general all season. Pacheco looked okay in the last game. So right now I think it's at 5.5. I'm taking that plus 5.5 all day. I don't know. Maybe you could tease it a little bit, get it up to, I don't know if you take 6 points, get it up to 11.5 or whatever with something else. But yeah, take the Chargers with the points all day.
Chargers and points. All right. Cody, do you have any prize picks or sports bets you wanted to bring up?
Scrolling through now, the first one I like Aaron Jones. They have him at 85.5 rushing and receiving yards. I think he'll go over that.
He was playing the number one rush defense in the league this week. Just saying.
Yeah, but he'll catch a lot of passes. I mean, 85.5. I mean, I think he'll get it. But usually what I say, the opposite hits. Just scrolling through a couple more here.
That Bills game is going to be exciting. A lot of snow, potentially 6 feet.
That's going to be a lot. I would completely avoid that game at all costs. While you're looking at that, Cody, Buki asked, how many rushing yards will Derrick Henry have, and which QB will have the most success this week? Are you talking all QBs, or are we talking Ryan Tannehill and Rodgers? If we're talking Tannehill and Rodgers, I'm leaning towards Rodgers all day. And Derrick Henry rushing yards right now, they have him at 103.5. I'm going to take the over. I think he's going to rush for 110, 115. He's going to have over. And he's probably going to have a couple scores, but I still think the Packers are going to be a better team.
Yeah, I like that over too.
If we're taking all QBs, if we're talking all QBs, I'd really have to think about that, Buki, and get back to you because I'm not sure. That'd be tough. I think Justin Fields is a good play no matter what because he has a ton of rushing yards week in and week out.
All QBs. Yeah, I mean, I would have to look. Yeah, I don't. It's tough to say all QBs. I would definitely have to look. But yeah,
when we go through our rapid fire pick'ems, when you guys come across the matchup, do you think that QB is going to ball out? We'll re-reference this, and you can go ahead and just say it there.
Yeah,
and we'll be talking about all the games because I'm going to have to actually look at it to really figure that out.
Wait, so your two teams are playing each other tomorrow. What's the wager? You guys got to have a wager on the game. The line's close enough where it's a toss-up.
We didn't have a wager. We should have because the Titans should have won that game against the Chiefs.
I know. I didn't even think about that either. I
they
picked the Titans to cover, and you said they were going to get blown out. So I was right on that at least.
You were. I don't know. We'll make a wager. I'll chug a beer on live TV. I don't care.
I don't know. What do you think?
Loser chugs some beer on screen, on camera here. Next episode. We'll just do straight up, no line, just losing team.
All right. Works for me.
Or do you want to do a jersey bet? Because I like buying jerseys. So the loser has to buy the winner's jersey. You can pick whatever player you want.
Ooh, that's pretty
so you
sweet.
buy me a jersey, I buy you a jersey?
No. If you lose, so if the Packers lose, you buy yourself a Titan jersey, and if the Packers
win,
Packers
you have to buy. Sure.
I like it.
Jersey bet it is. All right. Looks like I'm going to be having a new jersey coming in. So moving the fourth down, this is where we talk about everything. We talk about Survivor. If you have anything other fun, Buki, make sure you bring it up there because I think you're the only person watching today, which is very sad. We normally have quite a bit, but since we missed last week, this is probably what happens.
It's our punishment.
Yeah. So go ahead and throw some more comments, Buki. There's more things you want us to talk about, and we'll get to them. We're going to go to Survivor. Chris was supposed to go first. He did not answer, so go ahead. I think it was Greg. So Greg, you can
go. Who the fuck did I take?
I don't even know. I had to look back quick. Okay.
Yeah, I had to think about that one for a second. Yeah, Ravens. I haven't taken them this year. They're going to steamroll the Panthers. They're coming off a bye. They're going to be healthy. Panthers are just a hot mess. Baker is going to be starting in this game, which will at least be entertaining, I guess. But Ravens roll.
Going Ravens. All right, Cody.
Pat, you go ahead. I picked the Giants, but I don't remember why. Because they're playing the Lions, and I don't think the Lions are a good enough team to win 3 in a row. So I'll take the Giants.
I'm going to go with a team that knows how to run the football. They have a great defensive line. They might be currently ranked 17th in the power rankings, but they can make a run to the Super Bowl. Yeah, that sounds fucking wild when I say it out loud. Give me the Washington Red Football Commanders, whatever they are. Give me them. This is my throwback.
Clinton Portis?
That's classic.
I got to bring something out.
And I think Brian Robinson and I think Antonio Gibson are living their best Clinton Portis days. So here we are.
I'll join you on this one. Does anyone
Sean Taylor?
recognize this number?
Sean Taylor.
That's a good
Know
one.
that one.
That's a good play.
Yo, I got
used to-
that back in high
oh.
school.
I used to have an RG3 jersey. I don't have it anymore. That would have been a perfect. That would have been a perfect little like segment there.
Yeah, that was great. All right, so that was our survivors. We're gonna get in rapid pickle. Let me change my name here real quick, because I always do. I don't know what I want it to be since it's the Washington something or another. I think. How about you guys feel? I think the Washington football team should have kept their name the Washington football team.
Yeah, that would have been hilarious. The Commanders just doesn't sound right.
No.
So is Dan Snyder officially gone, or is he selling the team, or what the hell's going on?
I think he's got to sell the team. I'm pretty confident that they're going to work him out because it's starting to affect their money. Cadillac says, "What's up? What's up, Cadillac? Thanks for the love." We're currently
Cadillac was in here. He was in here on Monday, so thanks for being back, Cadillac.
Yeah, dude. Thanks. Right now we're talking about this odds and ends shit, Cadillac. So if there's something you want us to talk about, just throw it in the comments and we'll bring it up and chat about it. So thanks for the love. But Dan Snyder, I think he has to sell the team. I think the other owners said that he's really costing them money and it's a bad look. So they didn't care when it was just his pocket, when it was just sexual harassment, when it was just that. But now it's looking like as a whole organization they might lose money because of his actions. But I think they're going to force him to sell. But he's going to end up making more money selling his team. So like even when the rich lose, they win. It's kind of crazy.
Oh yeah, everything's at a profit nowadays, especially when it comes to sports. Teams.
Yeah, so.
Pat, if the Titans lose, you have to buy me the Washington Commanders.
No, if I lose, I have to buy my own jersey for myself. It's whatever team loses,
I don't like that one.
You buy the other team's jersey. So like if the Titans lose, I can buy. I mean, if the Titans win, you can buy the Titans and a Commanders jersey if you want.
No, you're gonna buy me just the entire football team.
It's only worth $5 billion. Come on, that's pocket change. Just do what that dude for FTX did. He just pocket the money and just flee.
Yeah, right.
You're good.
All right. Input on this trade: Lamar, Jacobs, and TJ for Henry and Tua. Ooh.
Lamar, Jacobs, and TJ for Henry and Tua.
I'm guessing TJ.
I like it.
Right.
I would assume so.
Okay.
I mean, depends who your other tight end is, but I mean, I like it. I think Henry's better than Jacobs. Tua's not far off from Lamar.
This is when Henry really catches up. So he normally gets real big in November and December. So he could probably blow up. He's going to be better than Jacobs. Tua and Lamar is close because Lamar is definitely going to get his rushing yards and he's going to get rushing touchdowns. And then Jacobs, the Raiders are so hard to predict right now. They look terrible.
It's good to sell high on Jacobs right now, just because. I mean, he's been having some success, but the Raiders just aren't good. And like that's a guy you probably want to sell high on. Lamar, I guess you're kind of selling low on him. He hasn't been as good. TJ, I guess that's TJ Hawkinson, tight end.
Yeah.
So I guess if you have another tight end you can put in, then that doesn't really impact it too much. No, Tua's solid and Henry's awesome. I don't know.
Yeah, I like the Henry side. Oh yeah, his main tight end is Kelsey. Oh, and he has Justin Fields. Oh yeah, I remember you talking about your Fields and Lamar. Yeah, I mean I do that in a heartbeat. Then you saw Fields, Kelsey. Yeah. Oh, speaking of the Raiders, do you see Derek Carr cry in his press conference? My theory is he knows that his job's probably on the line and he may be gone after this year, and that's why he's crying.
Didn't he get paid too?
I think so.
Then a couple years, at some point, a year or two ago.
Dude, he should just be a backup quarterback, make like, I don't know, $5 million a year, and just like, I don't know, you're good. Like, I don't know.
But that's probably why he's crying, though. He probably realizes his job. He's done. His job's like over.
That's crazy. I don't know.
You can have success. I don't know.
They brought Adams in specifically for him. There's a new head coach. I really think they're going to have to give him time for this offense to click. I don't know if he's gone or not. That's a good discussion to have, though. But it's tough, man. I don't know.
There are a lot of teams that would want Derek Carr.
That's true. I don't like Josh McDaniels as a head coach. So
I guess
you would agree with all, but
I don't know if you can get rid of Derek Carr when you brought in his best friend and there's a new offense and he went through the whole John Gruden thing last year and they still made the playoffs. So I mean, he might be gone. I don't know. But
yeah, we'll see.
All All right, rapid fire pick'ems. We're just going to go through these quickly, except when you're on your team, you can talk for a minute, 2 minutes, whatever you want. First game is the big game. That is. Oh wait, here we go. Got another question here.
Trade
What
Debo
about
for
trade Debo for Godwin?
I'm for it.
If you can get that, I think it's a good trade because Debo has just not been that good.
Well, and I think Debo is going to be used a lot less now that McCaffrey's there. He's really going to be more of a wide out than the wide back position, and I think Godwin's a better wide receiver production with Tom Brady than Debo is with. So if you can do that, I would go Debo for Godwin.
Yeah, I think about this on Monday too. Yeah, I'm going Godwin too, only because I think Debo does get used less now that McCaffrey's down, and I think Godwin. I mean, he's gone over 70 yards since every game, but like 1 or 2 since he's been back from injury. He also has 6 or more catches in every game too. So if your league's PPR, he's got a good floor. I mean, Debo probably gives you the higher ceiling games, but those probably aren't going to be as common as they were.
I agree. So hopefully that helped, Cadillac. First game of the week, Thursday night game, Titans Packers. I've talked about this already. I'm going Packers. Packers are actually a favorite. They're picked like 51% of the time. They're at home. Lambeau. Titans are off on Lambeau. Buki, I'm sorry. The Titans don't score more than 17 points. So they're going to score 17 points, and then the Packers are probably going to score 30. However, the Titans pass rush and their rush defense is fantastic. So if they can get that together, I can see it being 20-17. But I'm still going Packers at home. Cody. What do you got?
Same one. Yeah, I'm going to take Green Bay too. And I was going to mention it before, but I thought I'd save it for now. This game just smells like it's going to be like a low scoring 2017, 24-20 kind of game. But I'll take Green Bay at home.
Boogie thinks it's going to be 17-13 Titans. That's what he said.
Yeah, it's going to be something. It's going to be some kind of low scoring, not very exciting game, but.
Is Tannehill starting?
What's that?
Is Tannehill starting?
So. Tannehill's there, but the Titans might not have Fulton. They might not have Big Jeff. They might not have. They definitely don't have Zach Cunningham. They might not have Dupree. They missed 6 starters last week against the Broncos, and it doesn't look like they're going to be ready. So.
Yeah, I mean, I think it comes down to. I think if. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say Titans win 23-20. That's my prediction.
23-20.
Yeah. I mean, this game ultimately comes down to if Green Bay's passing offense plays as good as it did last week. If they're going to struggle to pass the ball, I could see Tennessee taking it.
I think the reason they passed the ball so well is because Michael Parsons had to play back. He wasn't allowed to pass rush. And I think if the Titans can effectively stop the run, they're not going to be able to they're going to be able to get their pass rush going. But it's going to be a close one. Cadillac says, I have a weird feeling in my gut Debo's going to drop 30 this week. Who do they play? The Cardinals?
Cardinals.
Debo's that guy who could drop 30 every week. But just past game, he only dropped 7 or 8 points. So that's probably what he's going to be going forward.
And depending on what your outlook is for the playoffs, you want a player that's going to be consistent towards the end of the season. And I think the better consistent player is Godwin. So
Tampa Bay's offense is looking a little better too the past 2 weeks than it has. So Godwin's floor might be, raising up a little bit.
But if you have a gut feeling, go with your gut, because sometimes it's always right.
Elijah Mitchell had like 18 carries last game, so I think Debo's done in the run game, and was like, I don't know, he looked a little bit overweight too and a little bit slow and sluggish in the last game. I do not like Debo. A little chunky. Not
all right, Greg, your rapid fire. A game we've talked quite a bit about. Bears at Falcons.
Give me the Falcons. They're gonna play spoiler. I don't know. It's just gonna be one of those weird random games. Falcons win by a field goal.
All right, we got another comment here. I have
another Debo one.
Trying to upgrade at wide receivers. What do you think I could get for that? I was offered Debo, but I think that's a little too much for him. But if Debo becomes good again, so Blurpy, I don't know if you were watching a couple minutes ago, but we were discussing Debo. We don't think his floor is very high, so you're going to be looking at boom or bust weeks. And I don't know if I would get rid of Olave and Komet. Komet's had like 2 15-plus point games back to back, and it looks like with Justin Fields scrambling, he's going to have a continued increase. But Cody and Greg, what do you think?
Personally, I want Olave over Debo by himself and to lose Komet, and then I definitely wouldn't do that. I mean, Komet's been I'm pretty sure he's been the number one tight in the past 2 weeks. And Olave's been a pretty, consistent, 12, 15-point guy. Is Andrews on tight? I mean, just because you have Andrews at tight end doesn't mean you want to just ship off your second tight end.
I mean, if you have a flex, you can play two.
And yeah, exactly. And you're likely
fall out. I won my tight
end. I mean,
playing 2 tight ends.
Komet's a good sell high if you have a guy like Andrews. But even if Andrews is down, I still rather play Komet over likely. I mean, you could definitely get better than Debo for Olave and Komet.
You might be able to offer likely up for an upgrade somewhere at wide receiver, someone tight end thirsty if Andrews isn't playing this week, and you can still start Komet and maybe upgrade by losing likely. Yeah, it depends on what your league does, but that's an option. What were you saying, Greg? Sorry.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that trade. Olave's been very consistent no matter who's been at quarterback. He's just looked very good. Michael Thomas is out for the year. Landry can't seem to stay healthy. Like, he's the top receiving target on the Saints, and Saints always play from behind. And I go back to now that Elijah Mitchell decided to get like 18 carries or whatever it was in the last game, which was insane. Like, him and McCaffrey are getting all the workload on the ground. Debo now has to strictly be involved in the passing game and get a decent amount of targets. I don't like it.
Blurpy, what I would do for you, go check out what the owner of Darren Waller's team looks like. See what his tight end situation looks like, and see what receivers he might have. Because he could be, he could potentially be an owner and doesn't need a tight end. And
Waller, Zach Ertz, and Dallas Goedert.
Zach Ertz. Yeah, I mean, go take a look what their teams are looking like, because, if they're in playoff contention and they think they're a tight end away from, winning the ship, wouldn't be a bad idea.
Blurpy, how many
he has Waller.
Blurpy, how many tight ends do you want to have on your team? It seems like you have every tight end, man.
Well, take Waller out of there. Like Pat just said, go check the Ertz owner, the Goddard owner. Unless you own both of them too, then I don't know what to tell you.
He somehow just drafted all tight ends. He's got ETN, Dalvin Cook, Henry, Kamara, Pacheco, Amon, D-Hop, Olave, London. I would try to get rid of London. He's too hot or miss, hit or miss.
How the hell do you get Cook, Henry, and Kamara? Like, that's insane.
We can have 2 flexes, so I can use all 4 running backs, but ETN is on a bye. How many person league is this? 8, 10?
It's gotta be 10, maybe 12.
It's not 12.
I mean, I would maybe see, instead of trading Olave, see if he'll take London and Komet for Debo. I mean, that might be, I don't know if he would take that necessarily, but
10-man. I like 10-man.
That would be more of an offer I would trade away.
I personally prefer 10-man fantasy leagues just because you can have fun teams like this. But that's just
stacked.
Yeah.
I like the 12-team leagues. I like to have to start Dontrell Hilliard a couple weeks, See
if you can shop London and Komet. I mean, that's not a bad one. So I tried that, but he dropped London. Okay, so he's not budging. I mean, I think your wide receivers are solid, and I don't know if Debo is really going to add much to you at the wide receiver position or even at your flex. So.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know if he is even worth making.
I think Olave's production, because he's the only one getting targets down there and with the Saints, is probably going to outproduce Debo most weeks. But you also have Kamara, so you are running 2 Saints on a pretty limited offense.
I mean, I would try maybe something like take one of your running backs and try go for one of those high-end receivers. Like, go get yourself that's what I mean. Like, trade Kamara, go get yourself like a – yeah, that's what I mean. I mean, I would look more something like that.
Quarterback. Who's the quarterback?
Because I mean, Debo. Are you not? Because I'm not starting Debo over Amon-Ra. I'm not starting over Hop, and I don't even know if I'm starting over Olave. So Debo's going to end up being your wide receiver 4 in my opinion anyway.
He said, it's really what I'd rather have Debo or Olave at flex 2, and I'm factoring bye weeks as well. Olave is off week 14 and D-Hop is off week 13. So you'll definitely have Debo then, but
can't even upgrade your quarterback. You have Jalen Hurts.
He's got Hurts at quarterback. Your
Just
team
sit on your team. Your team's fine. Don't
team,
worry about it.
Blurpy, your team looks real solid. If you don't find a way to win it at the end, it's just because you have too much depth. Sometimes when you have too much depth, you just start the wrong players.
Yeah,
that really hurts you. So I would just, unless you can get a real elite superstar, I would run with what you got because you got some serious depth there. Cadillac says, Blurpy, don't get Debo. I have Debo and Amon-Ra. At this point, I'm only starting him if my other guys are on a bye. And that's kind of what we were thinking as well.
Yeah, I mean, you don't just want to trade 4 buys anyway. Record 5-5. Yeah, I mean, honestly, Burley, if I was in your opinion, I wouldn't necessarily do a trade, Olave and Kmet. I would trade one of those running backs and go get a high-end guy. Yeah. See if, like, the Tyreek owner will take ETN for him. You know what I mean? I would do something like that.
Did your whole league go auto draft? Now it's a serious league. Okay. I mean, the 10 league really can stack up like that, especially if you draft well. My team in my 10 draft league is really good, and then this other guy is undefeated. His team's fucking stacked too. So he traded for ETN. That was a good move. If you did that before James Robinson was gone, that was a hell of a move. So good work there. I like your team. I don't know if I would.
Probably got D-Hop late too because of the suspension.
Yeah, I don't know if I would make those moves, but if you're really itching for it, I wouldn't go Debo. I'd go with what these guys say and go for a top receiver somewhere. So keep the comments and the questions coming, guys. Oh, he traded for Henry, for Lockett, and Terry for Foreman. Oh, Lockett, Terry, and Foreman. That's how he got Henry.
He traded Lockett, Terry, Foreman for Henry. That's a good trade.
Yeah.
Yeah, geez.
And on my league, ETN was on waivers. No one took him in the draft.
Oh, my God.
Wow.
Blurpy out here just like making trades with everybody. He's like, you know what? We're gonna just trade everything. We're gonna draft a team, but we're not gonna end the season with anyone on the team.
I wish I was in your league, Blurpy. I'm trying to make trades in our league, and no one wants any.
I traded Pittman for Andrews last week. I would love this.
That's highway robbery.
Blurpy, that kind of trade would never happen in my league. Pittman for Andrews.
That's crazy.
Guys he just makes a lot of moves. That's wild. Hey, but that's what fantasy football is. Have fun.
Wheel and deal.
Keep them coming, guys. We love it. We're going to get back to our rapid fires. Cody, Browns at Bills.
Browns at Bills. I think Bills are home. A lot of snow. Probably gonna run the ball a lot. I could see Cleveland upset in here. I'll go out on a limb.
Do it.
Give me Cleveland. I'll take it. I'll take Cleveland.
If there's 5 feet of snow, I think that really favors Cleveland because the Bills lost to the Patriots last year, and the Patriots threw 3 passes. So that's going to be tough. Greg, Eagles at Colts.
Eagles are going to be pissed off that they lost last week. Even though Jeff Saturday is the head coach now, Eagles are going to go in, take care of business. Eagles are going to win by double digits.
Like you said, my starting lineup: Hurts, Kamara, Henry, Amon, D-Hop, Andrews, ETN, Kamara, streaming defense, and Carlson at kicker. Maybe you should trade some of your players and get a better kicker because Carlson hasn't scored many points the last year.
And a defense.
I mean, I think your team's fine. I wouldn't even panic to make a move.
Yeah, I mean, you're 5-5, but if you look at points for and points against, and the other players you've just been scored on a lot, but you're still scoring a ton of points, odds of that continuing into the playoffs aren't likely, and you're setting up yourself pretty good.
Don't even get me started on the points for and against.
Yeah, you just mad because I'm sitting at number 1 right now. All right, Cody, Jets at Pats.
Jets, Pats. I'll take the Patriots. Bill Belichick's always seems to beat the Jets, and he's also good against rookie quarterbacks. Jets played awful when they met last time. I mean, so do the Patriots, but I'll take the Patriots.
He said he could trade ETN and Olave for Diggs. I don't know. That you could get an elite. I mean, that's a tough one going forward, especially Buffalo with all the snow. Olave and ETN play in favorable weather the rest of the season, but Diggs is an athlete. So, what do you guys think?
Boy,
So
it might just be a little bit too much for me. I would do ETN for Diggs straight up, but ETN and Olave for Diggs, that might just be a little too much.
What do you think, Greg?
If you have the depth, I mean, the other 3 running backs are what? Henry, Kamara, and who was the other one?
Kamara Cook, I think he said.
And Dalvin Cook. Yeah.
Honestly, I think I'm higher on ETN than Dalvin Cook. Yeah, I don't know. I'd probably do it just because you already have 3 running backs. You can only start 3 of them. So get Savon Diggs, who's a top 5 receiver, and just call it a day.
All right. You guys keep talking about that. I have to step out for a minute. Hold on.
Huh. Yeah,
All
I would
right.
do that trade.
And we'll be back.
Totally...
Except for...
Yeah, I was going to say ETN and Olave.
See, and this is where Phoenix football... This is where Phoenix football gets interesting because I would not. Because, Diggs is good, but you got to keep in mind, Josh Allen did just throw for 300 yards, but we don't know if that arm issue is going to be a nagging one. And if there's going to be at some point where, he ends up missing games, and then do you really want who would the quarterback even be at that point? Case Keenum? I mean, that's just a little too much for me personally. If you could do, like I said, ETN for Diggs straight up, I'll take. But putting Olave in there, it's just, like I said, too much for me.
Sorry, guys. My cutoff time is normally 9:30. I got dad shit I had to do real fast. So hopefully you guys got that all figured out. All right. I don't know where we're at. Greg.
Next game.
I think it's Cody. No, Greg. Rams at Saints.
Ew. Neither. You know what? My prediction in that game is going to end in a tie. That's my prediction. Tie. 13-13.
Okay. We'll leave it.
Absolutely, Blurpy. Absolutely.
Should I try Kamara for Adams straight up?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I do it.
There we go. So I can bring it up.
Kamara and London. Yeah, I mean, London is very expendable because, compare the guys you have, you're not starting them. Yeah, I would even do Kamara and London for Adams.
Buki said the Rams are going to beat the Saints. He does not believe it's going to end in a tie. So, Greg, if it doesn't end in a tie, you now have to take an egg.
Yeah, I can smash an egg around if it doesn't end.
We're calling it a tie. For Kamara and London, if he says no, I think getting rid of London. No, we'll bring this up. I think getting rid of London's okay. I've had him on my fantasy team all year, and he's just too hit or miss for me. If he'll take Kamara and London for that, I'd probably do it.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Starting him is going to be it's a liability at this point. Cadillac says, I really want Henry, but the guy that has him is really inactive. Since I'm trading Lamar, this guy has a QB problem. His running backs are Chubb, Etienne, Pierce, and Swift. Which one do I shoot for?
So are you trading Lamar for one of these guys? Is that what I'm getting at? I'm sorry, I was misreading it. Go ahead. No, I'm just reading it because Henry.
Henry's out of the.
I think
so. Henry's out of the scenario.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming he's trading Lamar, trying to get one of these running backs. I mean, if you can get any of them for Lamar, give me. If it's PPR, give me ETN. If it's non-PPR, give me Chubb.
And I would be very careful with Swift. I thought he was elite going into the season, but these last couple weeks, Jamal Williams is getting just as much as he is, and he's very upset with his touches, and he's just not producing.
He'll package Lamar in one of his running backs. Yeah.
Early in the season, Swift would have been the way to go, but the way he's playing now, I think you guys are right. Chubb and ETN for sure. Pierce is an animal, and I think he's going to be a great running back, but that line's not very good, so I don't know if you're going to get the production as you are getting with the other two. Great stuff, guys.
Chubb all the way.
Package Lamar and one of my running backs. All right. Keep them coming, everybody. We're going to keep running through these. Cody, you have Lions and Giants.
I'm gonna go with Giants. They're my pick 'em this week, or my survivor pick this week. So it's only fitting if I stay consistent.
He said it's full PPR and his running backs are Jacobs, Stevenson, Connor, and Jeff Wilson, but I want an elite running back. Yeah, Lamar and one of your running backs.
I mean, you have an elite running back. You have Jeff Wilson.
I mean, the way he looked last week, he scored like 20 points last week.
Lamar.
Connor, don't get rid of Connor. Connor going forward is the guy. They got rid of
Benjamin.
Benjamin, yeah.
My thing is, though, Lamar and one of those guys, is it worth Etienne or Chubb? I don't know.
100%. Lamar and Stevenson for Chubb.
What is it again? Would they go Jacob, Stevenson, Connor? Yeah, Lamar and Stevenson for Chubb. Or if it's PPR, I prefer Etienne. So Lamar and Stevenson for Etienne. Yeah, I would do that.
Yeah, don't get rid of Connor. Don't get rid of Wilson.
Honestly, I think I'd rather hang on to Stevenson than Jacobs. So I would do Lamar and Jacobs for Etienne. That's just me personally.
Patriots backfield's always like a merry-go-round, though. They always have like different guys like stepping in, and it's just like you never know who it's going to be, and I don't know.
Yeah, Stevenson has been playing very well this year, though.
Either one of those, I think, for Etienne would be a good move.
I just don't trust the Raiders, even though I'm telling you to go trade for Devontae Adams.
But you should be able to sell Josh Jacobs for like very high right now because his value is like sky high. So you should be able to sell him at a high value and get more of something for him versus, I don't know, Stevenson's not as high value, even though he's had a good year.
Guys, our team is going to be very fucking dull once the trade deadline hits this coming week for most fantasy teams.
I mean, full PPR
questions are trade related.
Going back to week 3, PPR wise, Stevenson's been under 20 points only 3 times. So
PPR full point.
So I mean, that's why I like Stevenson. Obviously, Connor for the reason you mentioned, and Jeff Wilson. It looks like it's his backfield. So I mean, I would Jacobs would be the one I send out.
All right. And there we go. Cadillac. Hope that
Should works. I try Olave, Komet, and Kamara for Debo and Walker? Sorry, Walker. See, again, I don't know.
No. He likes Kenneth Walker a little more than Kamara.
I agree, but then the other half, I mean, you're still looking at Olave and Komet for Debo.
If you like Walker that much, just trade Kamara straight up for him. I mean...
Yeah, I mean, if that's how you feel, I mean, I'm still not doing that personally.
It looks like Blurpy really wants to get rid of Olave and Komet for Debo.
I'm just not big on Debo. I mean, it's going to take a lot for me to say yes to trading for Debo.
It's just so funny because he was like, "Should I do Olave and Komet for Debo?" We're like, "No." He's like, "What if I do Olave, Komet, Kamara?"
Yeah, I mean, I would see.
Good time.
I don't know, man. I'm just not big on Debo rest of the year. So if you're going to tell me should I trade for him, it's probably going to be a no for me.
Kenneth Walker is not a bad move though.
I like Kenneth.
Play, they're going to run the ball. He says he's afraid that Debo becomes good again and they miss out. Well, here's the thing. Elijah Mitchell had like 18 carries. Christian McCaffrey is going to get his carries. Brandon Ayuk, he's out of the doghouse after last season, and he actually looks pretty good as a wide receiver. George Kittle is going to get his touches. There's too many weapons on that offense. They no longer have to have Debo play the Y-back position. He doesn't have to run the ball 13 times a game. He doesn't have to catch the ball 13 times a game. They have so many other options now on offense that he's not going to have to do it all because McCaffrey's going to do well. Elijah Mitchell, when he's playing, is a very effective running back. And then George Kittle, tight catches, and Ayuk look okay. So, yeah, Debo might have a 30-point game that you're going to miss out on, and hopefully you're not playing him that week. But I would say...
Yeah, I mean, since McCaffrey's been there...
I offered him Olave, and he said no. Well...
I think last week was his first week
he didn't play the
back,
first
actually.
week that... McCaffrey's
Yeah.
there. But I mean, the first game he played with McCaffrey there, he only had 2 catches, 24 yards on 6 targets.
Debo's
So
fat now. You don't
that
want him.
he finished as your wide receiver 58 last week. So
Yeah.
I'm not going to worry about, like, is he going to have good games going forward? Sure. But I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. Blurpy, I'm going to tell you, all three of us are going to tell you to let him go, you know.
Don't get him out of here.
Just don't even worry about it. If you get burnt by Debo, you never have to listen to us again. And I understand, but I'm going to tell you right now, we're not going to, unless you can get him for pennies. I want to try to get out.
Yeah, and then just keep in mind that Niners, they're a running offense. And if Debo's not going to be the one running the ball anymore, I mean, you just got to hope he's going to score a touchdown.
Yeah, I don't like having Kamara and Olave starting on the same team. I don't blame you because the Saints' offense isn't that hot. But your benefit is there's no one else out there catching balls except for Juwan Jennings every once in a while. So Kamara and Olave are still going to get their points as long as the Saints move the ball at all. He said he texted the Adams owner for Kamara straight up. That yeah, we can get it, not a bad move. Greg, Ravens at Panthers. You picked Ravens for your survivor, so we're just going to go ahead and skip that. We're going to go back to Cody. Commanders at Texans.
I'll take Commanders.
That's a good one. Greg, Raiders at Broncos. Game of the week.
Oh, is this the first time that both these teams are playing this season, or have they played before?
They played before.
Did they?
The
Broncos beat them the first time.
Yeah.
And this one's at Mile High now?
Yep.
Ooh, let's see. Oh, yeah, it's the 4:00 game.
This is really the game of the week, like that prime time slot.
No, it's a 4:05 game.
Okay.
Yeah. God. I guess it's at Mile High. Give me the Broncos. God, both those teams suck, and it's hilarious. I love it.
Well, are you going to say something about the Chiefs just to get them in there?
I'm just shitting on those two teams. I don't even need to bring up the Chiefs in this one.
Cadillacs is saying I'm starting D-Hop and Connor from time to time. Yeah, unfortunately that happens. Do you think it's time to sell D-Hop with Hollywood coming back?
No.
Probably not. I mean, Hollywood Brown was having a good season before he got hurt. And I think the addition of Hollywood Brown is D-Hop going to still be – I think he's producing like 25 points a game. Is he still going to get that? Maybe not. But he's still going to be an elite wide receiver.
It's less pressure on D-Hop, too. Like, now you have to divert some attention to Hollywood Brown because he'll burn you deep. Like,
he's still
that's pretty much what's going to happen.
What about you, Cody? You agree?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to rush and sell him. But if you can get – like I said – I don't remember what show it was, but if you can get a good offer for anyone, it's time to sell, you know. So I'm not going to go out there and sell them if I don't have to, but if you get some offer you can't refuse, by all means.
Yeah, I mean, if you really want Devo that bad, I'm sure somebody will take D-Hop for Devo.
Also, remember that Zach Ertz is now out for the year, so that opens up like at least 5 to 8 targets every game. So even though Hollywood's coming back, you know, Moore is still going to eat. Hopkins is still going to eat. I think Moore's productivity will slightly decline, but other than that, everyone else is going to stay the same.
Calix says, I don't know how much value Hollywood will have, but I have him on IR. So if something tragic happens, I'll just plug him right back in. He was having a decent season. He has a good connection with Kyler. So he might be one of those boomer bust plays on your flex. He might have some high upside just depending on what defense they're playing and whether or not they think that they're going to have doubles on DeAndre Hopkins or not. Something to monitor.
I mean, I think they'll both be. I think they'll both be fine. The Cardinals like to pass the ball, so
Kingsbury air raid.
Even last year,
I
mean, even last year, Hopkins and Christian Kirk, you know, they both played well. So, you know, for fantasy purposes. So, and I think Hollywood's a better receiver than Kirk. So, I mean, they'll both be fine.
When you have an offense like Cliff Kingsbury where it's air raid and you literally just drop back and sling the ball all over the field, the more weapons you have, the better that offense is going to work and the more points that everyone's going to have. So I think it's going to be great. What if I started both wide receivers? You would have to have a pretty good matchup.
Yeah, I mean,
it would also
is it ideal? No, but I'm sure you're fine.
You might want to go out and trade for Kyler Murray or Colt McCoy then, if you're going to be doing all that. You might as well just go all Cardinals.
Yeah.
You have James Conner. You got.
I wouldn't recommend that, but
Well, he's got James Conner, he's got D Hop, and he's got Hollywood Brown. He might as well go and
Pick up Trey McBride too. He's going to step in.
yeah,
for
but then
Ertz.
but then he starts them all, and the Cardinals take a shit on offense one week, and then you're scoring 70 points your fantasy matchup. So
full PPR.
Believe it or not, in my one league last week, I was starting Hopkins, Moore, and Ertz all on the same team. They were pretty good.
We got the two teams I want to try to trade Komet to are saying he sucks. One has CD and the other has Chase. CD owner has McBride at tight end. Chase owner has Pitts, and they're telling me Komet sucks. Laugh my ass off. I think if they're not paying attention in the last couple of weeks fantasy football wise, they probably think that because he hasn't had a great season, but he's had a great couple weeks. Once they started letting Justin Fields be Justin Fields, he's really taken off as a tight end. So, I mean, they can say he sucks, and you can just sit there and play him in your flex and score 20 points.
right. Yeah, I mean, he definitely doesn't suck. Like I said before, he was your tight end 2, or your number 1 tight end the past 2 weeks. And just the past 2 weeks alone, scored about, we'll say 20 less points than Kyle Pitts has all year. So Kyle Pitts has 68.3 points all year. And I think the past 2 weeks alone, I can pull it up. I don't know exactly.
He got like 20
Cole Kmet has 20, 45. So yeah, he's got 19. What'd I say? He scored about 20 less points the past 2 weeks than Kyle Pitts has all year. So
yeah, I think it's the way to go. Greg, Cowboys at Vikings. Oh no, you just did one. Cody, Cowboys at Vikings.
I'm going Minnesota. I picked them in my parlay this week. They're a good team. I mean, I don't know how else to say it. I think Dallas good, but like we saw last week, they're kind of iffy in close games and close situations, and Minnesota's very good in those situations. So I'll take Minnesota.
I was going to take the Cowboys if I had the choice. Close game, though.
So Burby says he thinks that Komet Olave for Chase is especially fair since Chase is hurt, but the guy doesn't want to give him another 15-plus point projected player. I mean, right now you're probably dealing with your team's already pretty stacked, and other players are noticing that, and they just don't want to deal with you just because they're afraid of giving you the title. You might run into that. You know, like Cody pretty much hustled everybody in our Dynasty League, and nobody wants to trade with him because he's kind of a dick. So he wants to do these trades, but no one's doing it.
I forget when I get offered trades, but I'm the dick for accepting it. So you're gonna tell me the trades I did, you wouldn't accept either?
Greg,
like, come on! I'm not an idiot like Greg who offered. I'm not an idiot like Greg who offers the first overall pick for Antonio Gibson. I mean, come on. Of course I'm gonna take that. Of course I'm going to take that.
Is the Steelers a good D stash with TJ Watt back? Anytime TJ Watt is on the Steelers, that defense is so much better. Like, historically speaking, over the last few years, when he's hurt, they're okay. When he's there, they're fantastic. He's going to get sacks.
I mean, yeah, sure.
Receptions. I didn't know he was back. I missed that. So if he is and he's back and he's fully healthy.
Yeah, he's back this past week.
He makes their team.
I mean, yeah, if you got the bench spot to stash him, but I'm a defensive stream kind of guy. I don't if my defense is on a bye, I'm dropping, I'm picking up whoever. I'm just playing the matchups week by week.
All right, let's go ahead and Blurpy said he's running into problems where it's just his team's too good on paper. Yeah, I think your team's stacked and you're going to run into that. You're really going to have to give up a lot if you want somebody, but I think you could run with your team right now and have a good chance of making a run.
Yeah, Blurpy, I feel you. Like Pat said, in our Dynasty League, no one wants to give me anybody. So,
yeah, it's true. I mean, you're projected like 20 more points than everybody else every week, even though you're still somehow losing. And it's just you start the wrong players. That's fine. Greg.
Well, I mean,
Bengals and Steelers.
Who's playing the Steelers?
Bengals. In
It sounded like you
Pittsburgh.
said the Penguins. I'm like, what the fuck? Yeah, give me the Steelers. They're coming. They're riding high off that last win. Kenny Pickett's gonna come in, put his foot down, and be like, I'm gonna throw for 2 touchdowns in this game, only 1 interception. Our defense is gonna play solid, and the Steelers are gonna win by a field goal against the Bengals.
Give me your homer pick, Chiefs or Chargers.
I'm going Chargers.
I just realized we forgot to do the quarterback thing. Like the quarterbacks we thought we were supposed to. So sorry,
Bookie.
whoever asked, Bookie.
You got something to something else.
Oh yeah, so back to so I'm going the Chargers. Chiefs. I think they're only going to lose like 1, maybe 2 more games this season, and then this is going to be one of them. Like I said, going.
Are you
into
sure, Greg?
LA,
I thought they had the hardest schedule. You sure they're only going to lose 1 more?
I mean, Chiefs are just that good. I mean, the dog agrees. Chiefs are just that good. It's just a bad matchup for Mahomes. And of course, everyone always gets healthy when they play the Chiefs because it's basically their Super Bowl, and that's what's happening with Mike Williams, Keenan Allen. Like they're getting like 4 or 5 guys back from the injury. This is the Chargers Super Bowl.
You're picking against the Chiefs.
Yeah, I'm picking the Chargers to win this week.
Bookie, if I'm picking one quarterback this week that I think is really going the ball out, I'm going with Jalen Hurts, playing in a dome against the Colts after pretty much a revenge game. And I really need the Colts to lose. So I'm going to go with Jalen Hurts, but I also think that the Ravens, I think Lamar Jackson coming off a bye can ball out as well.
I like the hot hand of Justin Fields against Atlanta. I mean, he's, I think, 100 plus yards, 2 games rushing, 7 touchdowns his past 3 games in the air to add with another 4 through the ground. I mean, I don't think there's a hotter quarterback in the NFL right now than Justin Fields. So
I think Dak's going to pop off 350 and 3 TDs this week against the Vikings.
There you go, Bookie. All right, last game, Monday night game. We got Niners at Cardinals. Cody.
I'm going to go the Niners. The team's just good, man. I just don't like the Cardinals either. The Niners are good. I like them. I like the run game. I mean, probably one of the best run games. They have a great offensive line. Defense is looking much better week by week. Yeah, I'll take the Niners. I'll say Niners 27-20.
27-20, 47 total points. All right. That is our pick'ems. We got over here comment from Blurpy. I texted him Kamara London, but no way that would work. I mean, just keep trying. But if your team is as stacked as it looks, especially compared to other people that you might have traded that you won the trades for already, it's going to be tough to deal anything else this close to the end of the season. So keep trying. If you want to get rid of Olave, maybe just take a hit on him somewhere if you really feel like he's not going to produce for you, or Kamara. All right. Anything else you guys want to chat about while we're going here?
One quick thing.
Okay.
So I want to know why the NFL did not review that Gabe Davis catch. Like they can't throw a challenge flag on it because it's under the 2 minutes. Like the NFL has to step in and just review the play. Like it clearly wasn't a catch. I think they would have overturned it, but that's just like a failure on the NFL officiating. I don't know who directs whatever that decision, but yeah, that was pretty bad because that was like a 40-yard catch or a 30-yard catch too.
I agree. Yeah, I forget where I brought that up, but I said the same thing. They were talking about, I think, like Gabe Davis fantasy points or something. And I said, hey, about 6 of those points were a little asterisk next to them because they shouldn't have been. But
you guys think Pacheco will be good? Don't ask Greg because he's a homer.
I think he'll be serviceable. I think that Chiefs backfield is very hard to put a gauge on, but I think he'll be serviceable. It seems like he's the guy that they want to give the carries to.
Yeah, if you have a dynasty league and you have him, I'd keep him. If you're talking about rest of the season, I probably wouldn't hang on to him.
Yeah.
So basically, he's in a situation where he's getting first and second down and like just running down carries. McKinnon is getting brought in for passing downs and like obvious passing situations. Hilaire is basically just taking the back seat on this, which is crazy because considering he was a first round pick a couple years ago. The fact that the Chiefs put in a waiver for Eno Benjamin shows they don't have the most confidence in Pacheco. I think just by like matchups you have to go by. If they're playing a really shitty team like the Texans or something, you'd start them. But if they're going up against a really tough run defense, I would not start them. It's more situational.
Cool. All right. What else we got? Anything? Papa Bear's getting called over there. Got daddy duties.
That's all I got.
Let's call it.
Hey, everybody at home that threw a comment in, man. Thanks for the love. Make sure you tune in next Wednesday. We're going to try to do these on Wednesdays. If you haven't yet, make sure you hit the subscribe button on our channel. Even if you got a subscription on the Get Right Fantasy Network, it really helps us out. If you put one here, get at us on Twitter and Instagram. All right. So
yeah, one quick side note, Izzy and I, and obviously you guys hope enjoyed. We're gonna plan on doing these Monday night live streams like we did last week, or not last week, this Monday. We're gonna try and be consistent on those going forward. So join us Mondays and Saturdays. We also plan on doing some kind of check down, check in thing. We really haven't been too consistent with that, but we're gonna try and get those out too. That we get more content and you get to see our beautiful faces more.
Yeah, make sure
that's all I got.
Hit the subscribe because we're not going to be able to always know, and then we'll be able to put something out there about 45 minutes to an hour before we do it. So if you subscribe, you'll get notified. So make sure you get that. But thanks, guys. Thanks for the love. Peace.
See you guys.